Okay, Podsters, this is it. This is your tipping point, your moment to take action or live with never knowing what could have been. We all have that thing that we know we are meant to do that scares us, that we're not sure we can do, and that we know we need a little help doing. My Do the Thing Fall Retreat is happening October 13th through 15th in where else? Cape Cod, in the tranquil seaside town of Truro, where I've hand-selected a beach house for 9 like-minded women to get together and do the thing. You already know that there's a life waiting for you on the other side of this thing. And this powerful, intimate 2.5-day workshop is exactly what you need. If you don't do it now, you probably never will. Don't live with regret. Do the thing. Click the link, fill out the very brief application. Let's hop on a call because I want to make sure it's the right fit for you. Together, let's do the thing. Hey, Podsters, it's Nancy Medoff and Beth Knaus, here to change the conversation around women in confidence with actionable tools, real-life stories, humor, kindness, and the occasional shenanigans.
We are fired up. We are calling things as we see them, and we are not holding back. We have a bullshit button, and we're not afraid to use it.
We have used it in the past. I'm Nancy Medoff, keynote speaker, executive coach, and best-selling author who literally wrote the book on women in confidence.
I'm Beth Knaus, creative copywriter, personal messaging consultant who helps business owners use their unique voice to bring in more ideal clients.
So here's what's up. If you're done playing it safe, you're tired of your own narrative, and you're ready to step into your authenticity, you're in the right place.
If you're looking for a weekly shot of confidence and the occasional truth bomb, you're also in the right place. So buckle up, friends.
And get ready to feel empowered and inspired as together we build our confidence toolkit and empower women everywhere to speak up and get their seat at the table, and then build a bigger table. Hey.
Hi, Nance. How are you?
I am so good. I am so good.
Yeah, I could tell when we got on our Zoom this morning.
So funny that you bring up Zoom, because Podsters, we are going old school today. We have very fancy technology and none of it worked today. So we're going old school.
Nice. That's okay. As long as we get it done, right?
Yeah, as long as we get her done. And the old school pods, or the OG Podsters, will not be surprised that I had microphone issues today. And Beth, I believe in a past life she was a Buddhist monk, because she has the patience of a turtle. Is that what has patience? What animals have patience?
Isn't it an elephant that has patience?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Somebody has it, but yeah. It's just like meditative now. You
just channel it naturally?
Deep breathe while you do your thing. And it's just like, I'm ready to go.
Oh, I love it. It's true. So one of the reasons why I'm in such a great mood is you're not going to believe this. Drum roll. Hello. 8.5 hours of sleep last night.
Wow. Solid, straight through.
Yeah, I mean, I got up a couple times, whatever, but nope, solid straight, like no phone, no book, nothing. 8.5 hours.
You hear it.
Crazy. You want to know why I think that is?
Why?
Why, Nancy? 2 reasons. 1, I did my nighttime rituals and I got off the phone when I was talking to someone. And the person I was speaking to listens to this podcast, gave me a little bit of attitude about hanging up, but had to do what was best for me. And I spoke at an event this week, and it is so awesome, and it's great energy, and I love it. And it is incredibly draining. So I think I was just exhausted, but I slept 8.5. So I am so good. I'm so good. So good. So good. Anyhow, what are we talking about today?
Wow. So we are talking about work-life blending, part 2.
Also known as live your life and screw them.
That's right. Holy cow. Yeah. Live your life and screw them, folks.
That's right. So
that's it. Podcast's over.
Yep. The end. Bye. It kind of is that simple. So Beth and I are both really passionate about this. And it's interesting because, okay, there's so much going on in my head. And also, so we're coming off of the 4th of July, and we thought this would be a good time to ask you all to do a little reflection. So did you work more than you wanted to? Did you work less than you wanted to? If you did work the perfect amount, why? What'd you do? What boundaries did you put in place? What shifted in your brain? If you wanted to work on the holiday, that's fine. Why did you want to work on the holiday? We think it's timely because summer's coming, or summer's here, actually. And summer's here and the living is good. Is that how the song goes?
Living's easy.
Easy. Right.
Short, easy, simple.
Because work-life blending should be easy, no?
Yeah, I think it should be once you get the hang of it, right?
Word.
Yeah.
Why is it so important to you?
So when I'm working or lifing, I want to be in the moment and I want to enjoy what I'm doing. And I find that when it's in excess or when it's rushed, that's not an in the moment thing for me. After a while, I'm like, okay, I've had enough of this situation, whatever it is, work or life, and I need to switch gears.
Yep, for sure.
So, and when you're squeezing it in and you're not going to have enough of it, it's just, there's always this tension about it, right? This energy that's like, you just can't relax, I think, and just enjoy the moment.
Absolutely. I agree. And I've worked with you for a long time. I find that you blend well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like sometimes I'll get not late night, but sometimes I'll send you a note. We use Voxer and I won't hear back from you for a while. And that's great. I'm like, good. She's got her boundaries in place. It wasn't urgent. Who cares? And then sometimes you'll respond right away. I think you do a great job. I really do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I try to leave my phone someplace else when it's nighttime. And I literally get to a point where I don't want to look at the screen. I can barely watch TV. And as soon as I sit down, I'm like, oh, is this my blankie? And I have my pajamas on. Good night, everyone. So
yeah.
I feel like though it takes a long time to get to this, don't you? Like I would have never been that way in my 20s or 30s, or probably started in my 40s to get it.
That was it. So it was, you said easy. Did you say easy? I think you said easy.
Simple, easy.
Simple,
Yeah,
easy. Yeah. Right. Because in your 20s and 30s, you think it has to be a grind. Like everything.
In energy. Like you can grind pretty well, like in your 20s at least into your early 30s. And you think like, I'm grinding, man. I want everybody to see that I am burning the midnight oil 24/7. And I remember feeling that way. So, and then at some point you're like, this is no good. This is not working.
Well, exactly. And especially if you work for yourself, or even if you work for someone else, you get to decide. I just had this conversation at the speaking gig. By the way, shout out to all my new friends and our new Podster followers from Sales Enablement Pro. We got a lot of new people following us from them. It was an epic conference. And okay, so this is a good point. So, okay. Now I just remembered everything. So this is a great example of work-life blending. Leading up to a speaking gig, it doesn't matter how many times I've done it. It's an energy suck, and it's a good energy suck, but it's an energy suck. Like I'm usually a little activated, and Danny knows, if it's not that important, maybe don't bring it up until after the conference because I'm really focused on just being the best I can be. And then afterwards, it is like I am dead. So I schedule downtime now. I didn't used to do this. I schedule downtime after a speaking gig. And for those of you who travel and for those of you who speak on stages, the plane ride home is not downtime. That is not downtime. You can use that to relax, but that's not what I'm talking about. So yesterday I had a really clear schedule and I kind of putzed around all day. And because to me, that's blending. It's, I was burning the candle on both ends, getting ready for this thing, or my energy on both ends. And I'm like, okay, I know what I need to do. And if I don't, it's not going to be good for anybody. So I blocked the time. I honored that. I didn't work out. I didn't do much around the house. As a result of that, I was running around all morning straightening the house. That's another podcast. And my point is, it's a blend. It's a choice. It's a choice. Right. Yeah. The reason why work-life blending is so important to me, this is what I'm thinking about what you talked about, being in the moment. And if you're not blending and you're trying to balance, which we all know no one can achieve, it's unrealistic. You're average. You're doing everything average. And we don't do average here at Unmute Yourself, the podcast. So if you're right, what'd you say?
I said, we do not.
We do not. No. So if you're trying to do this and do that and then that, and Beth had a great point when she was editing the book. It's the Uber mom who shows up for soccer practice, perfectly fit with sliced oranges, earbuds in her phone. All the kids love her, having the meeting, blah, 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 blah. No, who even wants to do that? And how well do you think she's doing any of those things? And what do you think her mental health is like?
Right. And if she's doing it on soccer day, maybe she's not doing it the other 6 days a week. Maybe, like you said, she has that energy for a certain time.
Yeah.
That's not 7-day energy doing things to your potential. Right?
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, I think that as you progress in your career, you understand that you get to decide. You get to decide that you can't bitch about working too much because you're choosing to work that much. You can complain about a boss who might have unrealistic expectations, but who's killing themselves to meet those expectations?
Right. Instead of, well, we've talked about this. Lord knows we have podcasts about this. If you have a boss like that, you have to say to them, your expectations are a little unrealistic.
Yes.
Right?
And there's no way I can manage everything that you put on my plate. Would you like to help me prioritize or would you like me to do it?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Like, not possible. Not possible. Not possible. And I want to share this. I have a good friend, who together we worked for someone who was a driver, wonderful person, driver, had zero balance, the opposite of balance. And it's actually somewhat of a tragic story. But anyway, this friend of mine, after many, many years, left and went to go do something else. She is a completely different person. She is a completely different person. It wasn't a toxic environment. It wasn't an abusive boss. Nope. It was working for someone who did not value balance. So think about the disservice you're doing to your family, you're doing to yourself, you're doing to the women that come behind you when you sacrifice balance for unrealistic expectations that either you put on yourself or someone else has put on yourself. Not today. No.
Right. I agree fully. And I wrote something here that I didn't have in our official notes about being honest about non-negotiables, right? Like a lot of the times this becomes a control thing. Well, I just need to do this and I just need to do that and I just need to do that. But do you? Do you? Is the question, right? I mean, what are the basics that you have to do in your day and get those done, right? And figure out how do you get those done when you have the most energy, right? This thing that you just brought up about energy, it's such a key point because even if you're at something really fun or you're speaking and you're doing something that really lights you up, you have to expend a more than normal level of energy. And somewhere you have to replenish that. So, you can't go from speaking gig to speaking gig to speaking gig in a day or in a week, or maybe you can, but you have to know yourself, I guess is the point. And oftentimes you have people say, well, I have to do this thing this day. Well, I have to do. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's your calendar. Well, what will so-and-so think? I don't care. You have to tell people, if I do this thing, I will not be in the best mood. I will not be productive. I will not. So I think you really need to look at your non-negotiables. And is that what they are? Or are they a matter of wanting to control a situation or being a perfectionist?
And also being a people pleaser. I mean, we haven't really talked about that on many of these podcasts, the inability to say no and what that costs you.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. As you were talking, it brought me back to so many, many years ago when I worked for Marriott. I used to co-lead a 3 or 4 day sales training program. It was rigorous. We always used to go everywhere. We'd go somewhere great. We would teach all day. We would hang out at night. We were there for the students. I mean, it was a lot. And I remember I was living in my awesome apartment in Charlestown. Shout out to my townies. And I would crawl into my bed when I got back it was usually a Thursday afternoon or a Thursday night. And that's it. I wouldn't come out of bed for probably 24 to 48 hours. I just wouldn't. I would come out to eat and I would go back in. I would read, I would binge whatever. And I was rigorous about that because I knew that if I saw people, I would be bitter. I would be short-tempered. I would be not myself. And I needed to recharge. So I wonder if thinking about work-life blending is about managing your energy.
Yeah. And maybe it is, right? Because even as you were saying that, like, I've done a lot of writing for a lot of coaches, and it's always this, you deserve this time, they say to their clients, or you deserve to figure this out. No, there's nothing about deserving, because deserving is relative. This is necessary for you to function at your best.
Right.
It's not like the deserving thing. I have a real problem with that word. Because no, it's necessity if you want to keep that pace for long term, right? Yeah. So you need to know, okay, so I'm going to go on this thing, this 3-day or 4-day, whatever. And then when I come home, I need 24 hours. Not I deserve 24 hours. I need it to then get up and start functioning again at the pace I want to function in.
I love it. I love it. And it's on us to communicate that to the people that we work with, the people that we live with.
Right.
And I've never had a problem with it. People have always said, all right, cool, I'll talk to you in a day.
Right.
When you said non-negotiables, it made me think about something that was in your notes. And it made me think about, so you call it non-negotiables, which I love. I call it priorities because my priorities are non-negotiables for me. That's how I think of them. And you gave an example of, particularly in the summer, like the clean kitchen or the contact list. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because I really liked that a lot.
Yeah. So I was thinking about, we just talked about letting go, right? Letting go of what doesn't serve you. And I feel like, so for instance, right now, so my daughter is here visiting and she's here with my grandpup, Nigel, who I love and adore.
Mm-hmm.
And there's shit all over my house. Oh, stuff all over my house. But I don't care.
Right.
I don't care that there's extra dishes because there's an extra person. When they're gone, I can clean up. But if they're here and I'm spending my time chasing them around, picking their stuff up, I'm not enjoying my time with them.
Yep.
So I can let that go and they'll be gone soon enough. The time goes so fast, right? And so I feel like it's like, oh yeah, I'd love to go to the beach with you, but I have to clean my kitchen or I have to throw a load of laundry in. Really? Right now?
Do you?
If you're dressed already, you can't do it tonight and go to the beach today.
Right.
Because if you go to the beach today, you're going to be replenishing energy, right?
I love it.
Thing, that you want to do. Yeah, I feel there are a lot of things like that people do out of, I don't know, organization or insecurity or whatever. And they're like, I don't know. I'm going to clean my kitchen. I have to organize my contacts. No, you don't. You need to go do not what you deserve, but what you need.
I love it. And to me, that talks about values. So which do you value more, a clean kitchen or decompressing at the beach? Spending time with Beth or organizing your contacts? And that's obviously it's Beth. That's a good way to think about it. Which do you value more? That's really what it comes down to.
Right. Yeah. And I think no matter what, we've had a lot of changes in how we're working now and how our schedules are. There is still that 9 to 5 mindset. There is still that September is back to school mindset, right? December, 2-week break mindset. Like whether you have kids or not, like it's just like it's there. because you see other people doing it. It's habitual. You do not have to keep that same schedule when you're on vacation or when it's the summertime or when you're having company or it's time off at the holidays. You can look and say, okay, I can work. Like I was talking today with our friend Kathleen, and she was like, I've been up, I've already worked already, because she was going out someplace afterward.
Yeah.
So you can do that. You can say, you know what? I normally don't sit at my desk until 8, but if I sit at my desk at 6, then I just freed up 2 hours in the afternoon if I want to go have lunch with a friend or somebody who's visiting me. Like, you can move stuff around. It's your life. It's your calendar.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to give one more example at home.
Okay.
At home. And I hesitate to even give this but it's going to be, okay. So usually when I don't want to talk about something, it's what resonates the most with people. So this is, and I'm not going to apologize for bringing it up. This is when I have people over for a dinner party. So I love to entertain. And sometimes it's casual, sometimes it's chargers and plates and all this stuff. And it's fun. It's always fun, that I can assure you. So there is a boatload of dishes, pots, and pans that are left over afterwards. Boatload. I mean, tons. So it up until maybe 6 months to a year ago, I would not go to sleep until everything was cleaned, because A, I didn't want dirty dishes in my sink, but B, I want to come down in the morning and have it be a fresh start and a nice clean kitchen. So about maybe 6 months ago, like I said, I don't remember, I had some people over and it wasn't a mess. So my husband is right there with me, the best. We did like maybe one load in the dishwasher and washed a few pans. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's just do the rest in the morning. And he almost fell off his chair, because he always is like, let's just do it in the morning. Let's go to bed. And he's like, really? And I said, yeah, let's just go to bed. Like, is it worth it for me to stay up the next 2 hours? 2 hours, because that's probably what it would have taken to clean all this. Or do I want to go to bed and recharge and then wake up in the morning? I'll deal with it in the morning. And it was a game changer for me when it comes to just letting go of these expectations of like, maybe I don't know where they came from. It almost doesn't even matter. But like, it doesn't have to be perfect all the time. It doesn't have to be clean and everything's put away and it come down to a fresh kitchen, because that's how I like to live. Instead, I come down to a mess, and I'm like, wow, we had a great time last night. And I can laugh, and I can be like, why is there so much crumbs around so-and-so's, chair? Clearly, he's a slob or whatever. And have fun and poke fun at the people that were there and have fun and be like, okay, and again, it's about energy. The sleep is more important than having everything put away and Polly perfect and all that stuff. So yeah. I use my Betty Crocker example. Do you think anybody that listens to the podcast has never heard of Betty Crocker?
Oh, wow. Could you imagine that there is a generation either that exists now or coming soon that will not know who the heck Betty Crocker is? However, you can still buy Betty Crocker at the store. So I think that most people know that brand.
I would hope. If you don't, DM us. We'll tell you who she is.
That's right. We'll fill you in.
All right. So let's talk about how to manage your energy and time better.
Yes.
So what are your non-negotiables? Do you have a couple that you want to share?
My non-negotiables, things that I must do. I don't know. Let me think about that for a second.
Okay. I can go because I know mine. I know. Sleep.
Oh.
Which sleep. Decent sleep. And sometimes it's not possible. I get it. Sometimes the kids get in the way. Sometimes emergencies get in the way. Sometimes you're on different times on whatever, but sleep whenever I can. Exercise. And very lately, I might get a little emotional about this. Very lately, I've been looking at how often, when and where I blow off my partner and say, I can't go for a walk with you because I really need to write this blog post. Or I can't sit with you right now because I really need to do this. And what's going to matter in the end? What's going to matter in the end? None of it. None of this is going to matter. None. What's going to matter is the people in your life and the time that you spent with them. I mean, it sounds like a Hallmark card. Do you think everybody on the podcast knows what Hallmark is? Maybe they don't.
Oh God, I'm sure they do, because Lord knows, because $6 a Hallmark card these days, Nancy. For
$6 for a Hallmark?
a lot. Remember when it was 99 cents?
I do. Shoebox greetings. What's going to matter at the end of the day is the time you spent with the people that you care about. That's it. So it's on you, Podsters. It's on you. Tough love here. Tough love here at Unmute Yourself, the podcast.
I agree. I'm going to second sleep, and I'm going to extend that a little further and say that for me, like, I feel like I also don't want to get up the next day and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't get a good night's sleep. Oh my gosh, I didn't get a good night's sleep, because then that just sucks more energy out of you. I like to get up and say, you know what? That wasn't the best night. I'm definitely taking a nap today. And then the nap becomes the non-negotiable for me. My morning time, like I need quiet time and I need myself. And I don't want to be like, you know how, like my routine in the morning isn't always the same. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm going to go for a walk first thing because it's still cool out. Other days I get up and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to meditate first. Okay, I'm going to journal instead. Or I like to have the flexibility to choose. I think that that's a luxury, to choose which of these self-care things am I going to do myself this morning.
Can I ask a question before you move on to the next one?
Of course.
Because I can see you moving on to the next one. How much time in the morning? I want specifics because I love this. Specifics.
I am normally, my alarm goes off at 5:45.
Okay.
So I generally get up at that time.
Okay.
And then I have till 8 o'clock.
A couple hours. First couple hours of the day are for you.
I take a shower and whatever, make my tea and stuff, but I sit down at my computer. But on the weekends, God, I could go for hours if my husband didn't get up. I could just keep like laying around. I just like it, right? Like you need that 24 hours.
Yeah.
For a sprint. And I'm going to say the third thing is I don't want to be pressured to cook. I want to be able to say, tonight we're having tuna fish sandwiches. Right? And I have to say, my husband will cook. He loves to cook. We don't always agree on what we should be cooking, but that's okay. Sometimes, and then I have to say to myself, you know what? If you don't want to cook, you got to eat what somebody else cooks, or don't eat, right? Like some nights I'm like, can't we just have cereal?
Why not? I had a health coach who I love and adore, and she's not doing it anymore. And I wish she was, and I hope she's listening. Lauren, I'm talking to you. She every now and then would have candy for dinner. She's a health coach. She's like, yeah, I felt like having candy. Okay, have the candy. So if you don't feel like cooking, don't cook.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's about grace, allowing yourself the grace to know what's best for you.
Yeah, so much of it is about grace, right?
Speaking of grace.
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about next.
It is. So before we go, what do we have? We have lots for you Podsters. Do we think your new website will be launched by the time this airs? Probably not.
Gosh, so close. I'm so close. But if you follow me on social media, on the Insta and the Facebook and the LinkedIn, you'll see.
Yeah. Join your Facebook. Join your Facebook group, right?
Right. In the meantime, yes, you can join Better Content Right Now. And I go in there every week and give some information that I don't put out on my other platforms.
Right.
I go there, I do a separate video for my people in Better Content Right Now. And we're hoping to start some monthly live on Zoom Q&As so that people can jump on and ask a question and get some answers about their content or their messaging or anything they're trying to straighten out that way.
Love it. Branding, right?
Absolutely.
Big time. Love it. So I'm trying to think of when this airs. Well, we are days away from the official launch of the Do the Thing retreat happening in Cape Cod, October 13th through 15th. Last week, I just doubled down and did a full QC. That's quality control for those of you who might not know that. I walked through the beach house that we're going to be hosting it in. It's awesome. It is. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's got a huge deck. We're going to do yoga on the deck in the woods. It's got a fireplace. It's going to be in October. Maybe we'll light a little fire, couple of private rooms, couple of shared rooms. It's going to be epic. 2.5 days of focusing on yourself, focusing on your thing, and walking away with the plan on how to actually do the thing. So doors open for that soon. You can get on the wait list. I think the link will be in the show notes. And that's it. I'm going to go blend the bajonkers out of this summer. How about you, Beth?
Absolutely. Peace out. Peace out, Podsters.
And that's a wrap. Podsters, we know that you found value in this episode, even if it was one little nugget. And we thank you for listening. So if you found value,
please share it with a friend or two or many if you'd like. And send us some feedback about the topics that you want to hear about, episodes that resonated with you, anything. We love to be connected to our Podsters.
We love it more than anything. Peace out. Hit that follow button. See you next week.